Clickbait, shock articles and buzzwords, everywhere trying to grab our attention and hook us in. Endless ads on the internet, trying to get us to buy into a product or service. You likely had to sit tiresomely through one before this video. They are just another source of information in the digital world for us to navigate. But we are exposed to these cheap tactics and ads so much that we've developed a kind of information blindness with regards to them. We do not pay attention to ads anymore and even actively despise them. Clickbait and buzzwords are just the new norm of navigating social media platforms. This initial level of enticement is basic, but it's not enough to keep us hooked, to keep us scrolling and scrolling and scrolling hours and hours and hours every day. So why are we still hooked? How do these marketing tactics really work? Why do we find ourselves stuck living every day in the world of social media? There is something deeper and much more powerful that pervades social media, and this is called the hyper-real. Everything on social media is portrayed as being more real than real, more intense, more exciting, more enticing to us than the banality and dullness of the normal, real world around us. For example, the stuff we see on social media is more colourful and vivid than the depressing grey world that we sometimes see out of our window. Social media is where we can talk freely and socialise with strangers, compared to the real world where everyone has a blank, unapproachable look on their face. Here, in the real world, is where we risk rejection, which is a difficult process to go through. Social media is also where people get exposed to pornography and erotic imagery, compared to the difficulties of forming authentic, real-life relationships, where we risk being vulnerable and open, something that is hard for us to face. Social media is a place where, at least temporarily, we can find motivation and meaning in a world which can be uninspiring and unforgiving, where we risk failing over and over and over until we succeed in our goals. Online, we can succeed vicariously through others. It's where you can travel the world, see it from all angles, get everything in a quick hit, without any of the real expense or risk associated with the real thing. For example, why go to see the ducks at the park when you can see a colour-graded highlight reel of climbing Machu Picchu in 15 seconds? It just doesn't compare. A common theme is that indulging in the hyper-real world of social media seems to eliminate a lot of the risks that we potentially face by going out into the real world. For example, the risk of being rejected, being vulnerable, failing at goals, being in unfamiliar areas or situations. This is one of the biggest appeals of social media. This is partly what hooks people in, is this utopia where we don't have to take risks and we can feel safe all the time while still exploring the world in this hyper-real sense. But there is quite clearly an even bigger risk on the other side of this, namely falling into a meaningless passivity, where we never challenge ourselves, we never create, we just consume. We live vicariously through others online. We never go through the difficult bits ourselves. We outsource all of life's amazing and varied experiences to others because we are scared of taking any risks ourselves. And when we get to the end of it, we think, what have I been doing all this time? Other people have been doing everything, but what have I actually done? The sooner you realise that it's at the other side of risk where life is filled with meaning and drive, and not at the bottom of the TikTok For You page, the quicker your life will take a turn. The most direct way to combat it is to delete social media and to get out in the real world. It's hard because it's so intertwined with every part of our daily lives. The funny thing is we don't need ads telling us to use Instagram or Facebook or TikTok because we're already so hooked. It's almost funny when we see an ad for these things because, we're already stuck in them. It's the content but also the very structure of these sites that keeps us deeply hooked into them. Awareness is the first step. Being aware of how these sites function on a deeper level and how they keep you trapped in them, selling you this hyper-reality, this utopia of zero risk and consequence, just pure dopamine hits and imaginary experiences of the world. Once you understand how it works, you're less likely to be manipulated by it and you can start to break free from its digital chains. But awareness isn't the only thing. After awareness, you need action. Returning to real action in the real world, not this digital vicarious action that we're used to in social media, where you take some risks, but on the other end lies so much potential for growth. Get out into the world, see the nature around you, not just on a screen. Talk and make friends with strangers rather than just commenting random crap online. Pursue a real life relationship. Don't just sit in your room and watch porn all day. Find work that you find fulfilling and meaningful, rather than just getting injected with fleeting bursts of motivation from travel influencers or entrepreneurs online. The enticement of social media is much deeper than we think, but breaking free from it is one of the most important things anyone can do with their lives. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. I'm planning to do a lot more videos on this idea of the hyperreal in the coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled. Thank you again, and goodbye.